Hello and welcome to TNA Top 10, episode 125, November 19th, 2025. And anybody watching sees that every single time I look to my left to make sure I get all those pieces of information correct. I am T Weave. With me, as always, are Andrew and Allison Faye. How's it going, fellas?
Hi, it's good.
On this
We
beautiful Wednesday. It's beautiful here, at least 65 degrees. I hear it's not that way in Connecticut.
It's 32, I think, right now, going down to 28, but I am not complaining because I bought brand new to me truck from Andrew this weekend. So yay for me.
Tell us
yes,
all
she
about it.
did.
I should have put pictures of it in the
You
slides.
should
Would
have.
have awesome.
That's all good. Somebody would find it and like come and trash my car, so no. So I was met at the airport with my new truck and a driver.
Greg,
Oh, I didn't
Sandra,
even think about the fact that he was in your new car
Yep.
when he picked you up. I didn't
Yep.
even consider that part.
Yep. So that was
Terry,
awesome.
I'm a professional. Come on now.
Andrew figured that part out. Yeah.
As I learned, Andrew is very important at work. I mean, we all
Don't
knew that, but I got
don't
to see
spread
it.
that rumor. Don't
Yeah,
spread that
well,
rumor.
hey, you've got
What Allison
a
what Allison meant to say is until we closed the door, we kept getting interrupted. So I
yeah.
had to treat her like a real customer and be like, shut the door. Now everybody will leave us the hell alone for 40 minutes so we can get this done.
So we are
Yeah.
coming to you on a Wednesday, which is something we don't normally do. And
Not anymore. We've been
this
on Sundays.
this middle of the week show stuff is for the other shows. Y'all can have it back after this week.
Yes. Agreed.
I need it. I need it on the weekend. That's a lot easier for me.
My brain is in overload, so yeah.
So
No,
let's
it's
talk
good.
about what we're going to discuss tonight. Our usuals. We've got college football. Since baseball season's over, no more about that unless something big comes up. We continue our villain series with our sci-fi villains, but before that, we will discuss a couple of upcoming pay-per-views, one in WWE and one in AEW.
Well, then before you get going, because you skip baseball altogether, Aaron Judge is like death and taxes, Terry. He is inevitable. And once again, the MVP of the American League. Congratulations as well to Shohei Ohtani, who for the second year in a row was the unanimous National League most valuable player.
So
Um, I don't think it was close. I don't think it was close. It was 30-0. The other vote was 17-13. Here's what I'll have you say for all you Judge haters out there that thought Cal Raleigh should win. In every metric, with the exception of runs batted in, plates appearances, and home runs, Judge in a runaway. More importantly than that, they pitched to Cal Raleigh. Trivia, as someone we know would used to say. How many times was Aaron Judge intentionally walked in 2025?
100.
34. Do
Oh,
either of you know who or what team was most responsible for those walks? 17, by the way.
the Dodgers.
The Toronto Blue Jays and John Schneider. So they are not
Oh, he's hot.
going to face Aaron Judge, which is the point I'm getting to. This is the point I'm getting to, is that they did not intentionally walk Cal Raleigh 34 times to avoid him. Judge in the lineup is such a difference for the Yankees, and that is why he was your 2025 MVP. A switch hitting catcher with 60 home runs is an amazing accomplishment.
It is.
But in a world where Aaron Judge exists, it's just an amazing accomplishment. Which Judge does in and out every day is
Yep.
all of us getting the privilege and the honor of watching one of the greatest generational talents of all time play the game. And it's not just because he plays for the Yankees. He is writing the story. Yeah, we know, Willie. We've had this discussion. Welcome to the show, by the way. I don't know that we've seen you here before.
Well, welcome, Willie. Thank you.
But Aaron Judge is writing the story as one of the generational talents. And let's not forget the greatest right-handed batter in the history of baseball at 33 years old.
And at the same time, on the other side, you mentioned Otani.
Mhm.
Otani is to the point where somebody will post some unreal statistics about Greg Maddux, and somebody in the comments will be like, "Otani did that." I'm like, oh damn it! Come on, it's ruining my Greg Maddux memories here. Like somebody posted the other day that Maddox had 2 seasons where he had a higher batting average than his opponents.
Wow.
No big deal anymore. Otani does it like every year.
Yeah, that's true.
Last thought on the MVP talk. To Terry's point, he is correct. And let's not ever forget that Greg Maddux once threw a complete game with 87 pitches in less than 2.5 hours. So he will forever be the professor. But on the Judge talk, this whole MVP thing, East Coast votes for Judge, West Coast vote for Raleigh. Makes a lot of sense. But the tipping point was in the Midwest and the Central. They all voted for Judge. And that's where he won the MVP.
So Bober's mentioning a pitcher that's in the Yankees farm system at the moment that won the Cy Young for the Pirates.
He's gonna look great in pinstripes.
Absolutely.
Rumor and innuendo from somebody who apparently was a quote reliable source inside of baseball, and you thought we had no baseball to talk about, Terry, is that Paul Skeens wants to play for the Yankees. Let me ask you guys, who doesn't want to play for the Yankees? They're not the Mets. This is the standard. This is the face. This is Hulkamania of baseball. This is WWE. When you think of professional wrestling, you think of those things. When you think of baseball, you think of the Yankees. And it's just the way it is. But now we have like 90 days before anything really matters. Although they did overpay Trent Grisham this week, which is gross. $22 million for an outfielder who is inconsistent, great defender, but we have too many outfielders already. And what does that tell you? What does that say to Cody Bellinger, who should be your number one target in the free season market or
They'll
free
just
agent
give him
market?
money too. I mean, they got it.
The thing is, they want to stay below $300 million, and that's not
Right.
really possible when you blow $22 million on a $15 million baseball player. 1 year contract. 1 year contract.
1
Because
year.
you're afraid he was going to get locked up
Crazy.
somewhere else. Whatever. Anyway, Aaron Judge wins again. And as long as he plays baseball, he will be in the MVP conversation. And there is just nothing that anybody can do about it. Like death and like taxes and like the coming out of our new president or current president. Anyway.
Inevitable.
Oh, blame AI, Terry. I've had a lot of fun with the reels.
So let's go ahead and dive into football. We even though we are
You mean
never mind,
wrestling?
we're not diving, we're talking
Wrestling.
wrestling. Sorry. See, I don't even know what's on my own slides that I put together. Middle of the week, I'm tired.
I have a way of
Work.
derailing people, so you can blame me. It's fine.
That's okay. I got slides telling me exactly what it is. But okay, so let's talk about Full Gear first. Coming up
Let's.
Saturday, and of course, there's a long list of championship title matches because that's what we get from AEW. So,
Oh, and don't forget, you got 3 hours of the shitty wrestling tonight because they keep getting preempted by their own network. But go ahead.
oh, we are on Wednesday night, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And they got 3 hours. I'm not even kidding. 3 hours of Dynamite tonight.
So let me just run them down real quick. We can talk about what we want to. We don't have to really discuss all of them. So we got Hangman and Samoa Joe for the World Championship. We got Statlander versus Mercedes for the Women's World Championship. Brodito and FTR for the Tag Team titles. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship and a no DQ. The Casino Gauntlet for the new National Championship. What I've seen is Lashley, Ricochet, Shelton Benjamin, Speedball, Kevin Knight, and just others was what I
And
saw.
just others.
Yeah, I mean it's AEW. The description is so and so, and others, right? Darby
checks
Allin
out.
versus Pac, which I don't know. I have not watched lately. Maybe there's some significance to that, but I'm not seeing it.
They're
I
gonna
can
kill
fill
each
you
other.
in on that. There's a lot of
They're
significance.
gonna kill each other. You're correct.
There's gonna be a lot of blood, and they're gonna kill each other. There you go. Now you know.
Well, it's good.
Last-
Amy went ahead and got her yummy out because
Yep.
I did not mention Cincinnati and the football stuff. I started to,
Yeah, I
but I'm
know.
like, no. So then
Last
we got
week-
a $1 million trios match. This is the
Which is
last
stupid.
one. Omega and Jurassic Express versus Josh Alexander and the Young
That's
Okay.
stupid. The $1 million stipulation is stupid. But why Pac versus Darby matters, Terry, as we talked about the War Games or the Blood and Guts and how there is some. Yeah, Terry loves multi-man matches. AEW, we're the best multi-man and the worst wrestle. But
Well, at
anyway,
least it's in November. I'm a little bit more accepting of huge teams versus huge teams in November. I'll just say it that way. They're
he's a
taking advantage of
traditionalist.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So last week during Blood and Guts, the way they got Darby out of the match is they had Pac take him to the top of the entranceway, overhead press him onto 2 tables. Oh, and did I mention the said tables were on fire?
Right.
And they drug him up to the entranceway with a belt around his neck to get him
Yeah.
there. Because murder is still not professional wrestling. But anyway, attempted murder isn't either. So Terry, what is on your mind concerning the card?
Let's see. This is going to be this Saturday. You know,
This
I might actually watch this. Honestly, normally I'm busy. I've got soccer or something, but this Saturday, since we don't record Sunday, I'm pretty free, and we play soccer on
Nice.
Sunday. I'm going to watch this. You know, this to me, the Casino Gauntlet for the national championship, the new AEW national championship. Don't get that confused by national championships that we've known in the past. This is not that. That match, I'm not really all that interested because the names that I see are just the guys they try to get in the ring every pay-per-view.
Mhm.
I don't see anybody there unless part of the more is like somebody out of nowhere.
Somebody new. Yeah.
Yeah. Hangman Samoa Joe, that might be pretty good.
Didn't we see it
FTR?
already?
Yes, but this one's a return in a cage match. That's something
Okay,
Terry
so-
may not have mentioned.
okay.
Oh, I didn't. Well, ChatGPT didn't tell me all this.
Yeah, it's a steel
That's what I
cage
thought.
match.
Okay, that's gonna be good. Lots of blood.
I'm not
Well,
really all
yeah.
that interested in Fletcher versus Briscoe, even though it's a non-DQ. I don't.
Fletcher
am.
versus Briscoe for the billionth time. But those
I'll watch
two, for whatever reason, they've got really, really good chemistry. I'm just not the biggest Mark Briscoe fan in the world. I'm not going to lie about it. He's not for me. But I think Kyle Fletcher definitely has a huge upside in wrestling
Yeah.
and needs to get away from Don Callis and the Don Callis family. And the Don Callis family, by the way, is very problematic in its structure because you have Okada, you have Takeshita, you have Fletcher. These are the big guns, and then you put them with the biggest jobbers in the company, Brian Cage and Lance Hoyt. And I mean physically the biggest jobbers in the company. These guys are awful. They're not good wrestlers either. And they stand around with their thumb up their ass waiting for their spot to get called, and it's embarrassing. It's not professional wrestling.
I disagree.
anyway.
I'm a big fan of Lance, so
Yeah, you can be a big fan of Lance in 2019. This is 2025, and he is absolute garbage. Garbage. And he's been booked as such.
what's
That's
the
okay.
ladies match?
They're sending Shibata out there to get eaten up by Hangman
Yeah,
later
I know.
tonight. So, it is what it is. And why $1 million match for the trios?
Because the Young Bucks
a
need
mil-
money.
$1 million match. We've
Yeah.
had a $400,000 match, and we've had a something. Oh, and now we've got
What was the
Skype
dollar
tonight.
amount? I know you know the answer to this, Andrew. What was the dollar amount? I don't know what year. You'll probably give me all of this. In the 80s, Jim Crockett had some kind of the winner wins $500,000 kind of tournament thing or something. Do you remember?
Wasn't
what
that
I'm
the
talking
Bunkhouse
about?
Stampede?
Oh yes. What was the dollar amount?
It was either 500 or 250, and they were winning the Bunkhouse Stampede and the Golden Belt Buckle and the big boot.
Nice.
Yeah, nobody actually got that money. That was
Nobody ever got. Well, Dusty won all 3 of them, so nobody actually got that money. He did book himself a lot. Now here's the other thing: they just stuck light skinned bros together. We got the Martin brothers, Top Flight, and Scorpio, who you ain't seen in months, is going to team against Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks
They're gonna die.
tonight. And AEW doesn't do that where they pair people that kind of look alike together. What in the hell is Scorpio Sky doing with 2 150-pound high flyers? This is ridiculous.
okay.
SCU is still good.
So
Anyway,
that's this weekend in New Jersey. On the
Okay.
other side of the country, on the 29th, San Diego, California. I think I'll take San Diego over New Jersey.
Hell yeah. It's in
well,
Petco Park.
Allison hates New Jersey for the first part, but we are flying out of Newark.
At least
April
I
the
know where it is, Andrew.
But anyway,
I know where New
Survivor
Jersey is.
Series. Let me get
just
to the
needed a map.
wrestling. The Survivor Series on the 29th in San Diego, California, and we actually know something about it now. Men's War Games: Punk, Cody, Roman, Jay, and Jimmy against Brock, Drew, Logan, Braun, and Bronson. And there's a lot of guys with almost the same name on that team.
Yeah, I don't like the forced, contrived nature of the men's war games. There's going to be a much safer version of Blood and Guts that we saw last night. I imagine the heavy Brock Lesnar comes in number 5 for the heel team. He's going to beat everybody up, clean house. I mean, this is fairly predictable. Roman, Cody, and Punk, do they coexist is the question. And allegedly they
Jimmy
can.
and Jay. I mean,
And Jimmy
Yeah.
and
we're
Jay.
always
the Usos
teasing Jimmy
reunite.
and Jay not cool.
Here's
We're
the
waiting
thing.
for the
Jey
turn
Uso-
again.
Jey Uso as a singles wrestler has been an awful experiment. It's time to end that.
He's
Put
got
him
the
back in the championship.
greatest 30-minute intro in wrestling
Yep.
today.
But then the bell rang.
Yes.
And
His
he don't
merch
get it down.
sales, though, his merch sales have been exceptional.
People like him. Yeah.
So they are not gonna, take the gas
Oh,
pedal
yeah.
off anytime soon on him.
I will tell you this, being in the crowd when I went to SmackDown in Nashville a few months ago, being in the crowd for that, it was much different.
Yeah.
That is definitely for the live crowd. On TV, it's
Mhm.
just like, okay, haven't we seen this? But if
Yeah.
you're there, it is a giant party for
Yep.
many, many minutes.
Yeah. Well, I don't live in a world where I can believe that Team Cody, because make no mistake about it, Homelander is the captain of this wrestling squad here in Survivor Series War Games, the invention of his father. I don't live in a world where they ought to be able to win. Okay, $25,000. Thank you, Bobo.
Sorry.
I didn't know the number.
It's all good.
Terry
That-
put me on the spot.
Hey,
But-
inflation, but I
We were
didn't know
close.
it either. I thought it was more than 25,000.
Well, back
doesn't-
then,
was
that
the
would have
80s. Back
been.
then, that is a lot of money.
At this point, Bober's just trying to make shit up because Pitt sucks, and we'll get there.
We're still going
Um,
to talk about Pitt.
Yeah, they're horrible. So how do they lose to Notre Dame by that much? Anyway, I don't live in a world where I see a team like Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre and I just lost his name, Logan Paul and
Logan.
Braun and Bronson
Braun, yeah, no.
lose.
Mm-mm.
Lose. Now, it's very clear Jimmy Uso is there to do the job. If that's the case. Very clear Jimmy Uso's there to do the job.
Yeah.
The one other thing that Blood and Guts proved last week is how do you have creative finishes people haven't already seen inside the War Games? Now, the one difference between WWE's and AEW's is Blood and Guts is submit or surrender, and the War Games in WWE can end by pinfall, which is stupid. But that's what they can do. So unless they change it. It also does not have a roof on the cage unless they change it. So I don't agree.
'Cause they
with
don't do
any of
that.
No. Oh, by the way, Bober, the Bunkhouse Stampede did also not have a roof on the cage because that's how they got rid of people was they threw them over the top of the cage. Because throwing them over the top rope isn't enough. You got to throw them out of the cage too.
And
Just so
Willie
Bobo knows.
says that Dusty versus Flair at Starrcade was for $1 million.
Starrcade 1984 with who was the special referee in that one? It was 1984. It was the $1 Million Challenge.
My
Was it
poster is
Frazier?
Starrcade.
Was it
83.
Frazier? Because they were gonna do an angle with Dusty and whoever the special referee was, and I just don't remember at this time. I wasn't even born yet. You know that age thing, Allison.
He's got to
Anyway,
bring that up. doesn't
Shut up. I don't even want to hear it.
he? Joe Frazier, it was. You
Joe
were-
Frazier. So they had intended to do an angle into 85 with Dusty and Frazier, The problem is that they ended up going overseas or something, and it didn't end up panning out. But they were going to do an angle where Frazier cost Dusty the match at 84, so they were going to into 85. They were going to use him on the house shows, but that didn't work.
Well,
Anyway,
that's better than the WWF setting themselves up with Mike Tyson and then him getting beat. So then they invited Buster Douglas.
Buster Douglas to be that, yeah, against Savage and Hogan.
Not
yeah.
quite the same. Anyway, women's war games.
Yeah.
Both sides still have not decided every competitor. We've got Rhea, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte. And
Not
others.
Charlotte.
She
Charlotte.
dropped out of the war
dropped out.
games Monday night. Yeah.
Damn you, ChatGPT. Anyway,
Yeah.
against Nia, Lash Legend, Asuka, and Kyrie, and others. So, okay, scratch Charlotte off of that.
So who do we see being added to the face side?
They're going to need a couple.
Well,
So
there's
Stephanie
assumptions
already
Stephanie
has a
got
match.
cleared. Yeah, and Nikki, I thought they'd be. That's a place to insert them in the war game so that they can protect her. But Stephanie, if that's a singles match, Stephanie isn't a runaway.
Oh yeah, Amy called it. AJ Lee. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no,
Right.
because AJ Lee and Becky. AJ Lee and Becky.
And
there's
Becky.
your five.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There it
there's your two. Yeah,
Okay.
AJ Lee and Becky.
Ooh, that'll be so good.
Yeah.
I know you're not a fan. I'm a fan.
AJ
Of
Lee
course.
doesn't bother me. Becky doesn't bother me.
Okay.
They can have a decent series of matches. It shows the trust the company has in Becky to go ahead and have a 10-year retiree wrestle with her. But I
Mhm.
guess they trust Stephanie the same way because Nikki Bella has a assuming title match is what it looks like.
Wasn't AJ Lee also in heels? Didn't she do training? Was she in that?
Could have been. She's never quit training and wrestling.
No,
though.
that's what I was gonna
If you
say.
see
I don't
videos
see
of-
her as a 10-year retiree who's like Nikki Bella. I
She ain't
see
been on
her as
television regularly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So retiree.
Yes, she was in heels.
okay.
Amy would know.
I mean,
El
so was her
Dorado.
husband. So
Her name was
Yeah.
El Dorado.
El Dorado, right? Okay.
The gold.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay,
So, anyway.
so
Oh,
you kind of mentioned this
hold
other
on.
match.
Hold on, Devin. Absolutely not. No, Nikki
way.
Bella.
No chance. You don't
winning
take it
anything.
from Stephanie.
Over Stephanie Valkyrie? No.
No chance.
No.
No chance.
No. Nikki can retire with her former beau John Cena, and everybody will be okay.
That's right. Well, speaking of Cena, I
Ooh.
think we all agree that Stephanie's going to beat Nikki Bella here.
Yes. Yes.
But we got Cena versus Dominic for the Intercontinental Championship. Is Dominic going to win this back? Did this
He
just
might.
happen for him
There's-
to get the Grand Slam and then
There's
it's gonna
no,
go
yeah,
back to
there's
him?
no reason to have this match if you don't put it back on Dominic.
Well,
Agreed.
unless whoever wins this tournament is going to be the new Intercontinental Champion by beating John Cena at Saturday night's main event. That's the only.
Oh,
Yeah, there's just no reason to.
okay, that's a good point.
No, he's right. Terry's right there. But there's no reason for you to have taken the title off of Dom to not put it back on Dom.
Yeah.
Dom beating Cena for the Intercontinental title, even by crook, and even with the help of whoever is in this tournament
Mhm.
that wants to end John Cena, that's fine because John Cena is not going out counting the lights. He will win his last match. He
Really?
doesn't have to win the Survivor Series.
Interesting. Oh, it
That's
needs to be in the
actually
blue
not-
cage, damn it. The blue
They're not-
cage.
They're not sending Cena out a loser. And let's
That's
ask the
a good
chat.
point.
They can all get in on this. Do you send John Cena out, face of the company, generational talent, took the company to next levels that Roman picked up and ran with, following Stone Cold and The Rock? Do you send him out counting the lights, or do you go ahead and let him have the win? My view is they're going to let him have the win. And it doesn't matter if he wins or loses. They haven't built a meaningful story one way or the other. So if you're going to have Cena be his last match, let him get his hand raised. Because it doesn't matter. They fucked this from the beginning of the year, and it's finally over. And that's the sad thing, is it's finally over.
But then we've got a 16-man tournament. And this is where I have a little
Yeah.
problem with the storyline.
I
We got a
agree,
16-man
Terry.
tournament just to lose to Cena for
Yeah.
nothing. at that point.
So I don't want to see Gunther in the last match. It makes zero sense
Me
to me.
neither.
There's
Me
zero
neither.
story. So
I'd be okay with
I'll be
AJ
honest.
Styles and say I'm handing over the retirement path to
Absolutely.
you now.
Yep. I don't see. I'm still rooting for R-Truth, so I don't care. But I don't see a reason for Cena to win because he's already had a year. Like he's had a great year. I don't see the need for him.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't
I
know.
mean, the best match he's had.
We got some. We got
AJ, and unfortunately, they won't run it back.
Yeah,
well,
that's true. You're right
yeah,
about
we've
they've
got
already done the
books
AJ
for
match. So.
Gunther, LA Knight. Yeah.
What is everyone's infatuation with LA Knight?
Dad thinks it's going to be a surprise entrance.
Is he good? No. LA
I
Knight's
have
not.
friends that he's like their favorite wrestler.
No, but I don't get it. I don't get him. He is a wannabe Stone Cold Rock Combo, and that's all he is. Even to his finisher.
Stone Cold Rock. So you're saying somebody told AI, here's a picture of Stone Cold, here's a picture of The Rock. Put 'em in.
At least
LA
the
Knight.
shtick. Yeah, because he can't. He hasn't had an
put a
original
little bit of
thought.
Timu in there. Is that what you're saying?
He hasn't had an original thought in his entire career. So I don't even know that you'd blame the Chinese for this creation. So anyway, they do quality work over there in their sweatshops.
All right, I think that's enough wrestling.
Yeah, I was going to say, any final thoughts on either of these? I'm not going to Dave and Buster's. I will purchase this right here this weekend and watch it at home.
So I'm going to hate watch it because it's what I do. But I will say this, and Allison and I actually agree on this about AEW. Their week-to-week shows, generally speaking, are bad. They go way too far inside of their matches, but largely these extremely long, used to be once a quarter, now they're once every 3.5 weeks, pay-per-views do deliver. So typically speaking, they are worth. Oh, it's CM Punk hands down. Like LA Knight isn't even on my radar. I hate Ober. So Ober just asked those listening, who I hate more, CM Punk or LA Knight. It's CM Punk, and it's not close. And we don't call him CM Punk. That's Saudi Phil, for those of you playing along at home. Saudi Phil, Saudi Phil, as in Phil Brooks. So, anywho, but Full Gear will largely deliver. They've got great match ups. I hate the fact Mercedes Moné is about to win the women's title because she's been on that run. Samoa Joe should walk away with the world championship because he's Samoa Joe, but I don't see that happening. This $1 million thing is a way to put the Bucks and Kenny back together. And maybe a double turn with Jurassic Express or something. I don't know. But at least it will be good. Now, there will be no follow-up on the following show because AEW doesn't know what that is. We had Blood and Guts last week, and yet the Bucks are here wrestling a 6-man. And they weren't in Blood and Guts, but the whole Don Callis family involvement with Mark Briscoe and blah blah blah.
No spoilers. I'm not watching.
They missed the Meltzer driver again. They are 0-1 billion for hitting their finishing move since getting into AEW. The Young Bucks need to stop with that move. Anyway, it'll be fine. I cringe paying $50 for it, but I will, mostly so I can criticize it later on this show the next week. And then, of course, Survivor Series is free for those of us with the ESPN app. So
yeah, so final thought on wrestling from me before we move on to football, and I'm pretty sure it's football next. And this is a dad joke warning before this comes out of my mouth. It's worth the money for the app, so I can see if Punk Saudi Phil sees his shadow. Let's go.
My God.
Oh my God.
He's going to see Brock Lesnar standing over top of him, but okay. I'll give you that one, Dad.
All right. So week 12 in college football. It happened last weekend. Let's talk about what happened. Here's a few scores. You'll notice that all the Big Ten teams handled business. All the top Big Ten teams handled business this weekend, so we didn't really have to dig into their games. Notre Dame handled Pitt 37-15. UCF I didn't say
Whoa.
that. Did I? Texas Tech over UCF. BYU put a whipping on TCU, and then Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana all just demolished their opponents in Minnesota, UCLA, and Wisconsin. Then Michigan almost let Northwestern pull one from them there.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh had an opportunity to flex and show that they were a top 25 team, and Notre Dame's defense largely shut them down. Texas Tech showed you again that $50 million has bought them a good football team. BYU, disciplined, very good football team. Oregon, not even close. Yeah, that's a bold prediction, and I think I'd like to buy some of whatever you're smoking tonight, Darren Staley, because quite frankly, the Ohio State is the number one team in the country for a reason. Oregon over Minnesota, Ohio State, UCLA, and Indiana, Wisconsin. Terry, I want to mention this Indiana-Wisconsin game because me and Allison were watching it. 22 for 24, Mendoza, and they only scored 31 points. 22 for 24 passing,
Goodness.
and they only scored 31 points against a very bad Wisconsin team. And Michigan, again, playing by shoestrings. Northwestern was up for the game and just didn't have enough in the gas tank.
So Devin mentions that Andrew and Allison sit atop the Pick'em this week. I won't mention whether the computer and myself and Alex all forgot to pick our picks this week or not.
I don't understand why y'all don't pick. Like, I've got it set on a calendar schedule. I'm getting mine in because I told you, and this
now you're making me make sure I did mine.
Oh,
with the main event of our show.
It'll start on Thursday, I think.
I've told you with the main event of our show, Terry, that AI will not win this season. And we're tying that into the sci-fi element of tonight's show. AI will not win. But Ohio State, Indiana, the standard. And as long as nothing silly happens to Darren Staley here, Michigan is a Michigan fan, wants Ohio State to be upset. That's not going to happen. This year, that is not going to happen.
Dave Portnoy hacked into Darren's account there.
Yeah, Michigan will not beat Ohio State. I know it's the quote game. I know everybody thinks it's the biggest game in college football history. You're all going to be sadly disappointed this year because this is called revenge. And the Ohio State is surrendering 7.5 points a game. Go ahead and capture it, Darren.
Oh, I have every clip from every show we've done.
I absolutely despise disdain the Ohio State and have since 1995 when they stole Tommy Frazier's Heisman Trophy. But they will not lose to Michigan. It is not, cannot, will not happen. Your team is outclassed, outgunned, and will be outcoached. And those are simply facts.
And by your team, that's anybody's team, really, because, I mean, that's kind of where they sit right now.
Yeah, they are number one with a bullet for a reason. But Indiana nipping at their heels, as long as nothing happens, they've got the collision course set for December in Indianapolis. And, yeah, I mean, I see Darren's very confident in the fact that he thinks Michigan's going to win. Well, you're going to be sorely disappointed because I'll call it now, 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, and I don't give a shit that it is in the big house. 3 touchdowns.
Let's move along to some focus games. First one here, Clemson goes on the road and beats Louisville. So Clemson's got a little bit of a pulse, but neither one of these offenses, I don't see how they got to this many points because neither one of these offenses really did a whole lot.
1 and 13 on third down, Terry. What in the world?
And then
how do you score 20 points? How do you score 20 points if you only convert? I mean, like, that just doesn't seem right.
They must not have punted very far. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Breakaway. We watched the end of, or I watched the end of this, and Louisville, I thought they had, and Clemson just kept on fighting, but both of these teams have knocked themselves out of the ACC contention by and large. So, but because I think Louisville's now 7-3, Clemson is 5-5.
I think
Maybe.
something like that. That's
It's
the
not a
best
good
they
season.
are.
I think
Yeah.
they're even now. I think they're even, so it's
They
not a
may
good.
go to some bowl game, but it's not going to be anything spectacular.
Not
But I
going to
mean,
be a good one.
you know, I guess they got South Carolina to end the season. Is that who they end the season with?
Clemson will end the season with South Carolina. That's correct. Yes, sir.
And who knows what South Carolina you get?
Yeah. Well,
I
we'll
don't know.
talk about that in a second, I'm sure.
Who will?
But the thing is with Dabo, it's going to cost him $60 million to get rid of him. If Clemson and him decide to part ways, because he's been very vocal.
Nope. Just keep going, Andrew.
I saw what he said. Yeah.
I know.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. But
Just keep
anyway, I don't know that Dabo. I mean, I don't think Dabo leaves. He's an institution. He is.
Oh,
just
he'll
an
be there.
institution.
Yeah. And he, beyond what anybody else is, he is the one coach that absolutely dares them to let him go. And he just says it right out there. He's like, yeah, we lost some games. I dare you to get rid of me because you ain't
Yeah.
finding anybody any better.
I like that kind of confidence. See what
Well,
he
I
does with
think
it.
we'll get there, but I think Virginia Tech got an upgrade. As much as a couple of our listeners want to disagree with that.
Well,
Well,
unless some of these top ACC teams really bounce back, he's setting up to do pretty well in the ACC in the next few years.
Yeah. And I know you have a coach's fired. Maybe we have a coach's hired slide, but hold
Not
on.
yet, but we will talk about that when we get to the fired. I've been thinking about how I want to show the hired because I need like a picture of the guy or something.
You
But
got to do
anyway,
like hired/rehired.
I hope we don't rehire anybody. I'll just say that. Anyway, Iowa went to USC this weekend, and USC wins 26-21. How do you say his name? The quarterback.
Maivia.
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 23-32, 254 and a touchdown. Lemon, 153 receiving yards and a touchdown. They were able to pass the ball on Iowa. But Iowa, Iowa did what they normally do. Played pretty good defense. Gave up some passing yards, didn't do much on offense, and lost by less than one score. I mean, that is pretty much Iowa football.
Yeah, and they didn't have a good rushing game either. I mean, Moulton with 90 rushing yards. Gronkowski or Gronowski. That's not Gronkowski.
That's not Gronkowski.
Gronowski, whatever his freaking name is.
Yeah,
they thought he was the second coming at Iowa, and he has not been good this year. Nebraska's got him not Friday, but next Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So we'll see. If their rushing game is not up to snuff, then, the Huskers obviously have the advantage there. But SC, to their credit, has 3 wide receivers going to be playing in the NFL. I mean, they just are. They're going to be playing in the NFL. Right. So they were able to climb the ladder on Iowa. Iowa held them. I think SC scored the last 19 points unanswered. So Iowa held them, till the fourth quarter. And then the dam busted open and the doors came off. But
that was a big pattern this weekend.
Iowa just plays ugly football, though. They do not. If you want to see a pretty football game, like something that comes out of a video game or a commercial, don't watch an Iowa football game because they're going to grind you out. We're going to get to third down. We're going to punt. Don't grind you out. It's just ugly football. And SC likes to get out there in space, move, stretch the field. And they successfully did it, but it took them a while to get going. Although you see that Maivia didn't make any mistakes, 23 out of 32, 254. Pretty good day against Iowa's defense, which is always going to be good. But Iowa is the definition of consistently mediocre. And, I mean, they're going to win 8, 9, even 10 games, but they are never going to challenge anybody beyond that. They haven't been to a big-time bowl game since the Capital One Bowl, and they were always that team that was going to knock off Ohio State, or they were going to knock off Michigan, or they were going to beat the guys they weren't supposed to beat. But again, Nebraska's 1-9 against them, so what the hell do I know anyway? But a lot of one possession games there, and it is what it is.
Oh, I know
Alright.
one possession games. We've lost 5 of them this year.
Oh, scary.
Welcome to the club.
Mm.
It's sad. It's sad too. Oh my!
All right, so
And
let's
now
move on to the
Allison-
SEC. We got a few SEC games because everything was close in the SEC this
Lane.
weekend.
Lane.
Allison watched this one.
I did.
You should have
No.
seen. She
Did we?
yeah, we watched this one at
Oh yeah, because
a while. Yeah.
Yep.
Because you had to be there. But anyway,
So yeah, so
Those-
Florida's scoreless in the second half and loses 34-24 to Ole Miss. And Lacey rushes for 224 and 3 touchdowns for Ole Miss.
that
A
offensive
beast.
line getting it done, pushing the defenders out of the way, Terry. I got to be honest with you. Ole Miss being down 24-21 at half, Lane probably went into that locker room fired up because he was all
Mhm.
over everybody's ass before halftime.
Mhm.
The referees, the players, his coaches. I mean, he was channeling his inner Nick Saban, and he was letting everybody hold it. And the announcer asked him, or the interviewer says, "Well, what's happening?" Like, he said, "I just wish something would go right," and that was his answer.
Oh,
And then
man.
everything went right for them, in the fourth quarter or the second half, anyway.
Yeah,
So,
there were a lot of huge second halves for top teams this week.
well, and
A
if you
lot.
control the ball like that, and you know this,
Oh,
Terry,
yeah.
if you control the ball like that, run the ball, you don't even have to score. You're just
Right.
eating up clock, and then you bury them, and then they can't get a third down conversion, and you've got the ball again. I mean, at that point, Ole Miss is just running their offense, and Lane's not even calling passes. He's just letting them run the ball, because I don't know how many touches Lacey had, but 224 is a good day work for anybody, and that is
I
what
mean,
it is.
if you get 224 and 3 touchdowns from your running back, I'd like to see
Mhm.
how many times in the history of college football that ended up with a loss. Not many.
Not many. Not
Yeah,
many.
I would agree.
Because you're going to lean on them.
Absolutely. Well, let's go to this one. This is one everybody knows about. 30. South Carolina was up 30-3 at halftime, and A&M wins at 31-30. Reed throws for 439, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Concepcion 158 receiving with a touchdown. And another game where the team that was in the lead did not score in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said this to you guys before we started the show. I've said it on this show. Mike Elko, not a sexy hire. Not making a splash. Not somebody going to turn heads. But this was the right hire at Texas A&M. You're down 30-3 at home. And the other team should be chomping at the bit to put you to sleep. And Carolina did nothing in the second half of any significance whatsoever. A&M came out, played lockdown defense, score, and they just ran their offense, as you can see, 439 yards passing. To say they made some adjustments in the second half and started attacking the defense of the Carolina Gamecocks would be an understatement, I believe. So that is what it is. But
I
Yeah, and I
believe
mean,
I
when he
texted
got
you both at the end of this game because it was so, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we were playing a soccer game in Memphis when it was halftime when we started, I think. So I tell one of the dads, Carolina's beating A&M 30-3, and we were shocked. And by our halftime, they had already started a huge comeback.
yeah.
Crazy.
And I mean, they just rolled. And that's why I say good on A&M. They probably found their guy. A&M is solidly number 3 in the college football playoff, headed towards an SEC championship, barring anything crazy happening. Although they do have a game with Texas coming up. And I'm sure you have a game with Texas coming up here quick, Terry, but on the slides. But I mean,
Yeah,
Texas.
I will say one last thing though. And you mentioned it a little bit. When he got hired at A&M, the only story we heard at that point was they're going to lose recruits.
Yeah.
And they started losing recruits. But to his credit, he got some of those guys back, and he got some of his own recruits, and he knows how to coach football, and they're winning football games.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we've talked about A&M being the Mets of the SEC. And that to me means go after a big name like Jimbo Fisher. The fact that they had the guts with the money they have to go get Mike Elko, that's huge, and they're going to benefit from it.
Yep. Yeah, A&M's going to be a 9, 10, 11 win team for a very long time. And I'm saying that's their floor. That's going to be their floor because of the way this guy coaches. And when you pair that, Terry, and I know that you hate hearing this as an Auburn
We
guy,
need somebody to suck.
but as an Auburn guy, I know you hate hearing it, but you pair that with the resources that Texas A&M is willing to pay, these guys will buy a national championship. Short of the Oregon guy, the Nike guy, who's what, 85 now, said, I will give you whatever you need to bring a national championship back to Oregon. They haven't said that at A&M yet, but you know that's how they feel, that they will do just about anything. But anyway.
All right, let's go to the next one. The third game, Texas at Georgia. And you know what?
Woo-hoo.
Georgia is just, Texas comes in, does very well in the SEC, but not against Georgia. Georgia is putting it to them every chance they get. And Texas is going to be very glad next year when they don't have to play Georgia in the regular season.
So the key point in this game, we were watching it. The key point in this game, Georgia scores a touchdown. And Kirby Smart calls an onside kick.
Mhm.
He's not behind. Georgia's not down, but he calls an onside kick.
Step on their throat.
Yeah, and it was like Saban calling the fake punt in the national championship game that took all the air out of Clemson. This did the exact same thing out of Texas. Like, they had no one on the hands ready for that onside kick, and they kicked the onside kick. It was executed perfectly. You got the big hop, you got the recovery, and Georgia just pounds the ball, and right into the end zone they go again. So they stole the possession and, genuinely speaking, broke the back of the Texas Longhorns. I mean, they took any momentum Texas thought they had, because it was a fairly close game.
Yeah.
But that was ultimately the turning point. And then you know what Georgia does. In the fourth quarter, Kirby, no pun intended, turns the dogs loose, and Arch Manning starts running for his damn life, because here comes that Georgia pass rush.
Oh yeah,
and it's 21-0. They play Georgia football, and they just
Texas couldn't run the ball, and they could not convert a third down.
No.
That combination is not going to get you much.
No, and like I said, they 100%. He turned those dogs, like I say, turned the dogs loose, and Georgia has not had that aggressive, attacking, blitzing defense since they won those couple national championship games. But he opened up the playbook against Texas, and that's why they're 2-12 on third down. Like, Arch Manning could not get out of his own way Saturday night.
it must be that young coach for Georgia there.
Yeah, Allison said,
Did
"God,
he
he's
eyeball somebody on the sideline there."
Allison said, God, he's so old." She saw Kirby.
Oh.
I said, he's 50. She said, shut up. He's not 50.
Oh.
He turned 50 in December.
He's 6 months older than me. That I'm like, I was mortified. It was horrible.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, the onside kick, and we're going to talk about something involving special teams in a minute on a special segment I have prepared that Terry knows nothing about. But you let that face. But it still gets ball games. Uh-oh. Look who they are, Terry.
We
Numbers
still got the
3,
same 3 undefeated teams. They keep
Well.
handling business. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. Looks like it's going to be this way until we have some championship games. Barring the Michigan upset.
Well, and Indiana getting beat by Purdue, get away from me. A&M's
Right.
probably playing the School of the Blind this week. It's that week in SEC football where they play nobody that matters. I always say the School of the Blind. How about the Helen Keller Memorial School? That's probably where they're playing. Because I saw that Alabama doesn't even have a spread on whoever they're playing, despite the fact they lost this week. And I say that because Like, they will not put a spread on a team, Terry, when it's going to be 50
It
or
was
more.
like Eastern Illinois or something. Is that who they're playing? Yeah, and
Eastern
Auburn's playing
Alabama
Mercy.
State University Penal League, like
Esquire.
out of Major League California Penal. That's where I've
No,
been
that
playing.
was the longest yard.
Well, no, the California Penal League was Ricky Vaughn.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
Ricky
Ricky
Vaughn.
Vaughn,
Right.
yeah.
No,
Yep.
Ricky Vaughn came out of the California Penal
playing
League.
in
You
the-
better get this guy some control before he kills somebody.
So that's the undefeated teams. And let's talk about the top 10 as voted on by our listeners. Here we go. A couple of differences between the college football playoff top 10 and ours. I'll run it down. Number 10, Alabama at 8-2. Number 9, Oklahoma at 8-2. Number 8, Notre Dame at 8-2. Number 7, Texas Tech at 10-1. Number 6, Ole Miss at 10-1. Oregon at number 5 at 9-1. Georgia 9-1 at number 4. And the top 3 undefeated teams: Texas A&M 10-0 at 3. Indiana is 11-0. I don't know when they're going to take a break. They are number 2, and Ohio
This
State
week.
is 10-0.
They
Sitting
take a
at the
break
top.
this week, and then they play Purdue in rivalry week, I
Okay.
believe.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
But Purdue will be like a 40-point underdog, legitimately,
Right.
because
Exactly.
Cigarette Kurt's going to have them all fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, I think Oregon's a little bit lower in the CFP rankings. I think Notre Dame and Oklahoma are swapped from what we have here, but otherwise, it's
we
pretty
have
much-
all 10. Like, yeah, they got all 10.
It's the same 10. Yeah.
The controversy was Alabama Notre Dame because Notre Dame had lost those 2 games to Miami and Texas A&M, and Alabama has lost to Oklahoma and Georgia, or not Georgia. Who they lose to? Oh, Florida State. Should have
Right.
remembered that. God, that's how
Right.
Florida State. They played 1 game this season.
Yeah, we act like those games early in the season don't matter. Right? It's just a conference.
Yeah,
But I've
exactly.
been watching Paul Feinbaum, and trust me, there's a lot of folks calling in suggesting that the SEC leaves the CFP and that they just make their own league and blah 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 because Notre Dame was ranked ahead of Alabama.
Well, here's the thing. They're ranked ahead of Alabama this week. Yes, Devin. Indiana is about to go 12-0. Purdue doesn't have enough in the gas tank to beat Indiana on their worst day. I am saying that as boldly as I'm saying Michigan will not beat Ohio State. But I think they have this right, Terry. The defending national champion, number 1 in the poll, number 1 defense in the country. There's a lot of reasons to vote yes for Ohio State. And obviously, when you get to the Big Ten championship game, again, barring any hiccups, you're going to have Ohio State and Indiana, 2 12-0 teams, 2 playoff teams at that point on championship Saturday playing for, are we going in as the number 1 seed in the country, or are we
Yeah.
going to find ourselves in like the 5 spot if this game is close?
Yeah, and my understanding would be, and somebody could correct me if they know more, unless there's a 3-way tie for second place, which there might be. I don't know who wins the 3-way tie between Georgia, Ole Miss, and Alabama because Alabama's got 1 conference loss.
Right.
I don't know who wins all of that, but Alabama has the win over Georgia. So if it came down to just those 2, if Ole Miss ends up getting beat in the Egg Bowl, that's all they got left, which I can't imagine that happening, but who knows? Then Alabama would have the tiebreaker over Georgia based on head-to-head, but I don't see it coming to that. I think it's probably going to be a 3-way tie at the end. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
who wins that.
Then
Maybe Georgia.
they're going to then they have to go to tiebreakers, and like you said, Georgia has the tiebreaker Ole Miss, and Alabama has the tiebreaker over Georgia, and Oklahoma, who actually beat Alabama, has 2 losses in the SEC, so they're out of the conversation altogether.
And in 2025, they're begging to not win the tiebreaker because why would they want to go to the championship game if they're already in the playoffs?
Correct. Here's the other thing, just to clarify. Unlike last year, conference champions are not 1, 2, 3, and 4
Right.
automatically.
It's the
Conference
top 4
champions
teams.
are going to get a bid, but they're not. If you are a 7 and 5 conference champion, you are not the 4 seed.
Right.
And I use that as an extreme example, but you get what I'm saying.
Speaking of
Um,
extreme examples, there's a lot of people talking about what if Duke wins the ACC? Could you possibly get 2 Group of 5 champions in above
Mm.
them?
No, I think you would put in the 4th or 5th SEC team before you would put in a second non-power four.
You have to have the top so many conference champions.
Oh, and you're saying the ACC would actually be the at-large bid.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not sure how it works out, but I think they would
Mostly-
end up just voting it in somehow, just barely put them over somebody.
Yeah. Mostly because I love beating dead horses, as you all know. Ohio State
Not at all.
No.
is getting visited by Rutgers this week and is a 31.5-point favorite in the Horseshoe. Going to week 14, Ohio State plays Michigan at Michigan. No spread yet. And Indiana, that's who I was looking for because I want to confirm. Where the hell's Indiana? That's rude.
Is that their bye week?
I would say is the end that might be. Hold on. Good call, Allison.
Oh, are they going to take a bye week before the championship game?
That's
What
what
a
I'm
brilliant
saying. How the
idea.
hell is the last week of the game the
Yeah.
last season of the game your bye
That's
week?
very smart, though. Rest up
That's-
for the championship game.
Absolutely.
No,
Whoever
it looks,
agreed to that.
looks like week 14. Oh, okay, they're on Friday. That's why I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Indiana 11-0 versus 2-9 Purdue.
Oh
I'm
my
pretty
God.
sure Indiana's going to the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
even if they lost to Purdue, Oregon beat Purdue, but Indiana beat Oregon. So they
Yep,
would
Oregon, at Oregon.
still go to the Big Ten championship. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not listed on ESPN, Darren, so it doesn't exist in my world. But anyway, thank you for that. And that initial spread is way too low. They missed a 1 somewhere. It should be 19.5. Go Ohio State Buckeyes. Principle alone. Because also your team tried to steal a national championship from the 1997 Huskers, and we don't forget shit around here. Terry, what's next on the docket?
Here's the fired their coaches list, and I know
Yay!
I don't remember which day it was. LSU and Brian Kelly are probably going to court over this 4
The
call.
hell you say?
And a big thing that LSU was saying was we did not officially fire him yet, and he just quit showing up for work.
And now they're trying to find cause to fire him so they
Wow.
don't have to pay him the
It's
whatever.
because I don't
like-
like him.
Yeah.
So the funny thing
Exactly.
was
Exactly.
I did not have the LSU logo on this, so that supports that they didn't fire him. But it feels like it's been a month, but it was probably after our last show, or maybe the day of our last show. So that's why it wasn't on there. But that's the only one. We've got Virginia Tech, which has been filled by James Franklin, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Florida, Auburn, UAB, Penn State, Oregon State, LSU, Colorado State, and UCLA. And UCLA, I guess, still has interim coach at the moment. So
Okay.
Yeah. So
a lot of
on the
big
top-
jobs to be filled.
Yeah.
On the topic of Virginia Tech, today, Virginia Tech University, I think it's Virginia Tech University, isn't it? We always just call them BT, Virginia Tech.
Right.
At Blacksburg, Virginia, is known for 2 things: Okie football and Enter Sandman at Lane Stadium when the Okie football team is playing. They're also known for a 3rd thing, and that's called Beamer Ball. Beamer Ball, named after Frank Beamer, the legendary football coach of the Virginia Tech Okies, that goes down in history with the people like, I don't know, Bobby Bowden,
Mm-hmm.
Barry Switzer, Tom Osborne, Pat Dye. Bottom line being legendary coaches that put an imprint on the university that they were at and that won national championship games. How did he do that? With something called Beamer Ball. Every defensive position scored a touchdown under Frank Beamer, and 35 different special teams players scored touchdowns in his time at Virginia Tech.
Goodness.
Wow.
That being said, as much respect and love as I have for Frank Beamer, let's talk about James Franklin. James Franklin recruits well in this part of the country, as a known coach, is going to bring recruits and attention, and probably is going to own the ACC for a while. But if Frank Beamer with Michael Vick couldn't win a national championship at Virginia Tech, James Franklin will not win a national championship at Virginia Tech unless
But he can go to the playoffs easily.
Unless they commit the $30 to $40 million a year for a roster.
That's true.
The only way they're going to win a championship is to buy one. Because if Frank Beamer couldn't do it, playing in the Big East and later the ACC, it can't be done at Virginia Tech. And
Right.
that's where I stand on that.
But we are also seeing Texas A&M, a team we used to say those similar things about. And they are undefeated going into the last couple of weeks of the season, and they're sitting at the top of the SEC. They hired the right guy. They have the resources. They are not one of these blue bloods that we're used to saying every year, but they're doing it. So Virginia Tech could possibly do that, as you said, if you put the money up to get the right players and the right resources. There's no reason they can't do that. All right, let's move along from the fired coaches. And I will have some kind of hired coaches graphic for when we have more of these.
Sorry about
Let's
that. The dog wanted her bone, and she was getting awfully close to the cord that has the right here.
She gets what she wants. We know.
Yes.
Bo
she gets
does
what
not
she-
believe in Franklin at Virginia Tech being a winning program.
Well, here's the
Big
thing, though,
shocker.
Bober. The ACC is a dumpster fire. You're about to fire the coach at Florida State. The coach at North Carolina is a joke. The coach at North Carolina State University is about to retire. Duke has a decent coach, but is a basketball school. Virginia is having a season of their lifetime. Miami can't get out of their own way. Do I need to go on?
No.
Virginia Tech will be the team to beat. That's all I'm saying. They will be the team to beat. To Terry's point, they'll make the playoffs and they'll win ACC championships.
Yeah.
And they've
No,
even
I mean,
said
it really is time for the big teams in the ACC, the teams that we're used to winning. You know, Miami did this year as we're used to Miami doing. They look very good, and then they, about 2/3 of the way through the season, they slip up. And Florida State and Clemson are sitting there as the two teams that have dominated this league for years, and they're not doing it right now. They need to figure it out because he's going in. If they can't figure that out, then there's no reason Virginia Tech cannot be in that championship game every season.
Yeah. And again, like you say, the way he recruits and what they pay. But anyway, speaking of Virginia Tech, Miami is at Virginia Tech this week, Terry.
They are. They are.
In a
And
rematch of Big
Syracuse-
East rivals from the 25 years ago we were talking about with Frank Beamer.
Right. And then a week after Notre Dame puts it on Bober's team, they're going to get Syracuse. So we got, I think everybody in the chat's going to get a chance to play Notre Dame. Auburn's going to
Yeah.
play Notre Dame a home and home. Auburn has never played Notre Dame. They got a home and home. I don't remember what seasons it is, but I plan to go to the away game at Notre Dame. Would that not be awesome? Auburn at
That
Notre
would
Dame.
be
South
awesome.
Bend? Yeah, South
Yeah,
Bend
it
is
would be so great.
Yes.
So Miami at Virginia Tech, even with the news of Franklin's hiring, he's not there yet.
Right.
Miami is a better football team. It's hard for teams with coaches have just been fired to actually play up. I think that Miami handles business, even though it is in Blacksburg, even though they're going to rock to Inner Sandman and Lane State. This isn't going to be close. This is going to be multiple scores. And yes, Devin, I agree with that too. But Terry, you have any different thoughts on the Virginia Tech? Is it going to be close?
No, I think Miami, like I said, I know they slipped up 2/3. I think they're going to finish strong and, not make the playoffs, but have a strong bowl win if their players play. You know, if you're not in the playoffs, you don't know who's going to play for you. So,
That's true.
when
Yeah.
the bowls
very
come up,
true.
who knows? But they've got a chance to really finish the season strong, and I think they will. Um, Notre Dame, like Devin said, another whipping this week at
Yeah.
home against Syracuse. Pitt at Georgia Tech could be a
Yeah.
pretty good game.
That one could be fun. Yeah, on the Notre Dame versus Syracuse, if Syracuse had their quarterback, I'd give them a puncher's chance. But in South Bend, the way Marcus Freeman's team has been rolling as of late, no chance. Pitt at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech might be slightly vulnerable, particularly if they look at the way that Pitt lost to Notre Dame.
Mhm.
But make no mistake about it, that freshman quarterback can ball.
He can.
And he can bounce back. However, he's probably playing arguably the number 1 or 2 quarterback in the country this week.
It's going to be a
I
quarterback game for sure.
I
Yeah.
take Georgia Tech by 10 based on the fact it's at Georgia Tech, and I would give Georgia Tech's quarterback the advantage over Pittsburgh. That's just me.
Okay.
Home field advantage matters if you guys ever see how I pick my picks. Louisville at SMU. Louisville coming off a close one. SMU has got back on track. I think Brent Lashley's team does it again and wins again at Louisville. This won't be some blowout. This is going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
But probably a 3 to 7 point win for SMU at home. Don't know if you see that any differently or not, but that's where I'm at on them.
No, I think it'll be a pretty good game. I think SMU, they are bouncing back, like you said. I think there was what I've noticed, when coaches start getting fired, there's names that are out there for coaches that might get hired. SMU extended Lashley, but in the meantime, they lost a game they should not have lost. I think they, just like Miami, they're going to bounce back, finish strong. SMU
Nice.
over Louisville.
Well,
USC at Oregon. I don't think Oregon's going to slip up anymore. I think they're going to keep rolling here.
I think they're too good of a team as a team.
Yeah.
USC's defense is still very suspect in my world, and Nebraska played them in the blackout game. It is, to me, you're playing a high octane, very fast offense at Oregon. It always has been, full of athletes. USC Oregon a few years ago, awesome football game. Without any sort of defense, though, USC is really outgunned. And it could be a basketball game. You could be score for score for score for score in this one. But I just don't think USC's got enough defense to stop Oregon, and Oregon's got plenty of defensive ability. But we'll see how that one goes. I'm going with Oregon in Eugene, 2 touchdowns because it's
Sounds
Oregon
right.
and it's in Eugene. And again,
I wonder what the game time on this is, because if it's late at night, this might be one of those classic late night ESPN games.
I'll tell you right now, yeah.
52-46 or something.
And that's the thing. Like they used to.
Yeah.
You remember when USC UCLA was at 10:45 rivalry week, and USC Aaron Rodgers UCLA beat them. USC and Oregon is 3:30 in the afternoon on CBS. Terry.
Okay.
So, but yeah, USC moving up in the rankings, moving up inside the Big Ten. But like you said, Oregon's playing for the playoffs. They know they're not getting to the Big Ten championship game. They're playing for the playoffs. So Oregon definitely for me to win. Now, up next, Nebraska, Penn State. Big news out of Lincoln today, and all the investigative journalism began when Dayton Raiola, brother of Dylan Raiola, nephew to Donovan Raiola, son to Dominic Raiola, all Nebraska people, decommitted from Nebraska for the class of 2026 and put it out confirmed it. It was on Rivals. He confirms it on Instagram. For me, this is as much of a distraction as it is big news. Nebraska's a 9.5 point underdog going into Penn State, despite the fact they have a better record than Penn State. Night game, Happy Valley, whiteout. James Franklin or not, Drew Aller or not, Nebraska should be an underdog in this game with their backup quarterback. 9.5 points. But the Huskers win by 7 in Happy Valley because TJ Lateef is a running quarterback. And all of a sudden, I'm Bud Vilmer from Varsity Blues We are a running team again, and we run the ball.
I love it.
Everything that he does is run pass option. He went 13 for 15 against UCLA, but everything with the exception of 4 passes was an extension of the run game. Emmett Johnson, sorry, Darren, is the best running back in the Big Ten. He is number 8 on the Heisman watch right now. And yesterday, Dana Holgerson said, when number 21 wants the ball, we're going to feed number 21 and we're going to ride him. And I have the best blocking wide receivers and receiver room I have ever had. Do you know what that means? Translation, guys, we're going to run the ball. And then when Penn State sends the blitz or sends the run blitz to stop it, they're going to call a screen, and that's when Nebraska will burn Penn State. But they don't need to take that defensive line of Penn State lightly. It's a very good defense. It's a very disciplined defense. They found a couple of victories, but I'm taking the Huskers by 7. And that's just me.
All right. It should be a good game, like you said. Even though Franklin's gone, Penn State's pretty good. They had a couple of weeks where they slipped up. I imagine they were already in talks of him getting canned at that point, and that really affects the team.
Well, here's my thing, Terry. Franklin left, not the 5-star players.
Right. Exactly.
So
Anyway.
only a couple of noteworthy games in the SEC this week. I guess Kentucky's playing Vanderbilt. That might be closer than you expect it to be just because Kentucky has changed quarterbacks, and the quarterback they changed to is actually pretty dang good. So they might make a little bit of a game out of it against Vanderbilt. But we got Missouri at Oklahoma. I mean, Missouri's okay. They haven't really beaten anybody, so I don't think they're going to do much against Oklahoma. And then you got a game that sounds like a great game, might end up being a good game, but Tennessee at Florida, really another couple of teams that haven't really beaten anybody.
Well, this season, and I can say this, we've done this show 3 years now, but we've all watched college football a long time. This season has been very unpredictable in the ups and downs and ups and downs. I picked Florida to be a dark horse because they navigated last season's schedule. This season, they did not. Tennessee, to me, is overrated. You talk about fails to meet expectations. That could be the headline for this game for both teams.
Right.
Failed to meet expectations because Tennessee is a playoff team from last year with a very good head coach who had a lot of controversy with whatever happened with Nico when he left the team and all that nonsense. And then you have Florida, who is embattled. And here's the thing. Lane Kiffin said after the Ole Miss win that it was unfair to talk about other coaching jobs while he was coaching this team in this season to get to the big SEC championship and the playoff. You know what that is? That's coaches speak for I'm talking to other teams about other jobs. Ole Miss might run his ass out of town. And if they do, that's their fault. You stick someone like Lane Kiffin in Florida, and you've made a huge mistake. Huge mistake. But I don't know that anybody wants that job other than maybe Lane Kiffin because Steve Spurrier was one of his heroes. But in Florida, you talk about going into the frying pan, Terry. Jim McElwain.
Well, being surrounded by 5 stars and 4 stars at your doorstep, that'll change some minds, though.
Yeah, but
recruiting
here's the
should not
thing.
be a problem there.
Jim McElwain didn't have problems recruiting, won 11 games, got fired. What's his face? The DC for Saban for all those years. Help me out. Will Muschamp.
Yeah.
11 wins, fired. Dan Mullen, 11 wins, fired.
But every one of these coaches is arrogant. It's part of being a coach.
Yeah.
So they'll get it done where the other guys couldn't.
But my point is, all those guys won 11 games, and it wasn't good enough in Gainesville. Because ain't none of them Steve Spurrier that won.
I mean, the same thing that got all these rumors about Alabama getting rid of DeBoer. Number 10, going to make it to the playoffs, and you got people calling for his head. it's the crazies. You know, everybody's got their crazies, but
Mhm.
Alabama's
Yeah,
got some standards, and they're yeah.
but the other thing is in the modern era, coaching has changed so much that Florida needs their Mike Elko moment, and I don't know that they're going to get it. If they're going for a big name, Lane Kiffin's going to be the biggest one out there.
Yeah,
But Ole Miss would make a huge mistake letting him get away.
absolutely. They got to do whatever they can.
Because there's no offense to your coach, because he was good when he was at Ole Miss. But actually, both of your coaches came from Ole Miss, didn't they?
Which other
Didn't
coach? Talking about Tuberville?
Tuberville and
Oh
the
yeah.
one
So
that just got
Tuberville.
fired?
Here's an interesting trivia answer. So Terry Bowden, the year that he got fired by Auburn, won one SEC game, and that was against Ole Miss, coached by Tommy Tuberville. Then they fired Bowden and hired Tuberville.
Yeah. And anyway, the point I was making was Hugh Freeze and Tuberville both coached for Ole Miss.
Mhm.
Neither one of them have had 3 consecutive 10-win or 10-win seasons
Right.
in Oxford. Lane Kiffin is in a position where he's a sleeper guy, sleeper coach all the time. The spotlight isn't on him unless he wants it to be on him. And let's face it, sometimes he does. But
Mhm.
how many times have we just overlooked Ole Miss altogether as a football team? We won't talk about Alabama. We're going to talk
Well, it's
about
kind of like
Georgia.
Texas A&M. We
Yeah.
said we've never put them at that level, and Ole Miss is being talked about at that level. I still don't know that I believe that Ole Miss can win a national championship with Lane Kiffin, but the fact that we are even entertaining it is way above anything they've had before.
Well, and they had a 9-point lead in the Georgia game they lost in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Right.
Had a
Hey, I know that
9
feeling. Auburn had a huge lead on Georgia this year.
Mhm.
Anyway, Auburn is playing Mercer, so it wasn't worthy of getting on this page here.
School for the Blind or Helen
Yeah,
Keller.
so Auburn is playing someone at the level that we are purposely going to hold back our starting quarterback to keep his red shirt. That's what the story is for Auburn.
And see, I absolutely hate that about the SEC schedule. I understand it, but you play the cupcake right before rivalry week, except in like the case of Tennessee, Florida. Some of them aren't playing the cupcake this week. They played the cupcake last week.
Well, because Florida plays Florida State.
Yeah.
And Georgia finishes with Clemson.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Yeah.
And
Oh,
Tennessee
yeah. South Carolina,
finishes,
Clemson. I mentioned that earlier.
and
Yeah.
Tennessee finishes with Vandy. And when Vandy beats Tennessee, the roof is going to go off the place. I'm telling you. Vandy wins the next 2 games. It is decided.
No, Bo Jackson actually plays for Ohio State, Darren. Look it up. Anyway. And you know what you could call you know what you could call what's the quarterback for Vanderbilt? I've already ruined this.
Diego.
Oh my goodness. So Diego Pavia, there's a word I'm thinking of that a lot of people are calling him this. A villain.
Oh.
And we might want to talk a little bit about villains, specifically sci-fi villains this week. And I'm proud of myself that I have not let my fingers mistype villains again, because I know how to spell villain, but my fingers keep wanting to do IA. And I think the first week I spelled it wrong. But anyway, this week we are going to talk about the top 10 sci-fi villains, part of the villain series. And thanks everybody that voted. I think this will be a fun one.
I'm excited.
I agree. This will
Andrew, you make a wonderful Sith Lord.
Yeah, so first of all, it doesn't matter where Palpatine finishes on this list. If I was in charge of the Empire, the rebels would have lost. No question.
No question.
I would have led the Empire to victory with all the resources that Palpatine had at his disposal. It's a shame that he let some Jedi take him down, along with some puppet that lived in a tree. Okay, and some old man took him down, but it is what it is. But yeah, Palpatine, me as Palpatine, I love this so much. The beard is magical, Terry. I don't have my sunglasses on because then you couldn't see the yellow eyes, but You
That's
you
right.
met
this.
you met
So
half
there's
of the
no
mandatory.
Nebraska hat under the
No,
under
you
the
met
hood.
half the mandatory criteria when you used my image and likeness in AI, so it's okay. I was half expecting it to be the Terminator, like because you all know how I feel about AI and Skynet is taking over the world,
Yes,
which is
correct.
why apparently Donald Trump and Bill Clinton have something going on, or had, and oh no, this is the rage on the internet, but it makes me giggle. I know that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about villains, but maybe we are
Correct.
we're talking about villains.
Sci-fi villains.
my
Okay.
All right.
Let's talk about who barely missed the
All right,
list.
let's see. I'm hurt.
Green Goblin, General Zod, T-800, and Ultron.
So the T-800 makes sense though, because everybody wants Arnold to be a good guy, and he's only the bad guy one time. And the development from 84 to 94, from Terminator 1 to 2, is so fantastic with the cyborgs and the T-1000 and the liquid metal and all that. Ultron I could care less about, but Green Goblin was a badass. Like he was. Legit. He
Willem
was
Dafoe. Yeah.
Yeah. And William Dafoe being the Green Goblin makes it even better.
Absolutely agree.
And General Zod, I think that's old enough that a lot of people didn't really know him.
Agree. But for me, this was one of the first villains where I was like, oh my God, this is scary. So I love General Zod. He was on my top 10 list.
This is no shocker here. Bober says 3 of his top 10 are in
No, definitely not a surprise.
That makes sense, because that's quite often what we hear from Bober.
Bober's been known to be wrong, and so we're sticking with that pattern.
I didn't vote for any of these 4.
I voted for 2.
No, I've been voting for anywhere between 15 and 20, even for the top 10. So
I normally go down and I say I will vote for them if I think they are top 10 worthy. Yep. Sometimes I end up with 8, and that's the difficult ones. Sometimes I end up with 17, and that's the ones that are a little easier. But I vote for whatever number, either 10 or above, based on that.
All right. Well,
Dave's here. I voted Zod around 7. What movie was General Zod from?
Superman 2.
Superman
2. Would be why I don't know it. I was never a Superman guy.
Lex Luthor, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember which
one.
I
could be wrong.
One of the older
Superman. I think Superman
movies. And Dave said 2. Yeah.
Dave says 2. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter because I never watched Superman. So
you were too young. You were a baby.
It was a good series, though. I did like those movies.
Batman guy, not Superman, as well established on this show.
I grew up with Christopher Reeve, so
yeah.
Number 10, Dr. Doom. Not impressed.
Where's Dr. Doom from?
No, Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's right. They did a shit job on that movie. I remember now. I watched.
Well, here's my question: which one? Because I'm pretty sure there's been 3 by now.
Well, the newest one's supposed to be pretty good, but I'm talking about the would be the middle. Well, the second one back was not good.
No, the last one was not good.
I don't know.
I think the second one was okay. The one with Chris Evans, right? Wasn't that like the weird crossover? Because Chris Evans was the Human Torch. Not Chris Evans. No, Chris Evans was the Human Torch, and he was also Captain America.
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, that's the danger of some of these. Some of these movies have like 3 or 4 different versions over the years, and
as also has been well documented. I only watch things that are at least 20 years old.
Yes, I
television right. Or movies.
Oh, I was right. Look at that.
Look at you.
Whee.
All right, so obviously number 10 we're not super impressed with.
No.
Let's look at number 9. Chucky.
Ooh,
obviously I like Chucky because he's behind me here.
This scared so Andrew, this probably wasn't when you were growing up, but when Terry and I were growing up and Amy, there was a toy called Buddy, my friend Buddy. Yeah. So it was a life-size doll that was just like Chucky. And so people who had this damn doll, you were like, that's it. We're going to die. That's it.
Except I got the knockoff of the My Buddy doll. I got like the
both my sisters had that doll, but I always think of Chucky as comedy, but that's just me.
Oh, okay.
Andy Bartlett. So anyway, Chucky is fantastic. A serial
So,
killer taking over
I,
a body of a doll. It's just
and I
wonderful.
agree with Devin. Scared me as a kid, still scared today. I
Nah,
mean,
nah.
I love it.
This is
they went as
comedy.
far as creating a bride for Chucky, didn't they?
Yeah, well, see, that's
They
the
did.
problem. That's
That
where
was
it
the
really
sequel.
gets into comedy. Is when you get into Bride of Chucky and stuff. Like it's really comedy.
It's kind of the
Uh,
level, not quite as bad as those like clown horror movies or
Oh
whatever.
God.
It's kind of at that level.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
it apparently, and Welcome to Deary. I always want to say Dreary because that makes more sense in
Derry.
my head. But Welcome to Derry is apparently very good.
Yeah, I haven't. I wait till it's done and then I'll binge watch it. But I heard the same thing. I'm excited.
Okay, so
And for the
a
people in the
doll
chat,
that
oh,
a
sorry.
doll that comes to life
Yes,
is science fiction.
correct.
It's not some guy in a hockey mask going around murdering people.
Yes.
Hey, look, I thought that was comedy too because those assholes always run up the stairs instead of out the front door. What is wrong with you people?
Also, it's our show, so if we put it on the
we
list,
make the
We
rules.
say so. Sometimes we over trust ChatGPT. Also, I'm just going to be quite honest, because making these lists isn't always the most straightforward.
I don't
we
care
make,
enough.
we make the rules and we don't care. So
Yeah.
thank you for your participation in voting.
Feel
What's
free to
number
not
2?
vote for those that you don't think belong.
We love you, listeners. Thank you.
At least it only made it up to 9, I guess.
All
Number
right, let's
8,
go.
Lex Luthor. And
Okay.
it was very difficult to find a picture for this
This is perfect.
because it was such an old movie. And yeah, Lex Luthor.
So,
Gene,
fact.
which Gene is this?
This is Gene.
Wilder.
Yeah. No, Hackman. No, this is Gene Hackman.
That's why I said
Shut up, I
Wilder
hate you
because
So, fun fact, my son is named Alexander, but when we were kind of like picking a nickname, I said, and I quote, "He will grow up to be my little evil genius, so we will call him Lex." This is where his name comes from. My son
yeah, but he's
is my
not
little
even
evil
close to being evil.
Not even close. He is the most straight-laced, polite, rule-following child ever. So I kind of got, yeah,
And no foul
Rule
language.
following.
no foul
foul
language.
language.
That is correct.
Yeah, Darren is new to our show. He doesn't understand the rib between Hackman and,
No.
and Wilder. But we'll
No.
explain it someday, Darren, when we're talking about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, as led to you by Gene Hackman.
Oh,
Thank
we were really talking it up about.
Oh,
We were saying Gene Hackman. It was really Gene Wilder, because
Wilder.
we were even mentioning like Blazing Saddles and stuff.
Yep.
I mean,
All right.
and then
All right.
it dawned on
What
us,
about
and
The
then I think
Unforgiven
George told us,
or
"You
The
guys
Quick
are
and the
saying
Dead?
the wrong name."
Wasn't that Gene Hackman? Nah, he was in Blazing Saddles. No, that was Gene Wilder. What?
Oh my God, we're the worst. I love
Number
it.
7, T1000.
Yes. This is low.
Ah.
Wow. I'm surprised this is so low. This was an excellent.
Well, you'll see a
movie.
pattern as we start going.
Okay.
So this was like, you talk about 7 degrees of separation. This guy's
Yeah.
been in everything, and he's always a villain or a bad guy. Like
Yeah.
always. He was in Sons of Anarchy. What the hell else was he in that I just saw recently? Now I can't remember. What was I watching? Anyway, he's the dad in the John Cena movie. What's the John Cena superhero? The series.
Oh, I know what you're
Peacemaker.
talking about.
Yeah,
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. He's the dad in
You're
Peacemaker.
right. He is.
Yeah. So I mean, like this
Yeah.
guy has been in everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, T1000 was legit. Looking for John
Yeah.
Connor, and then the liquid metal when he would become the metal. One of my favorite scenes from the movie is when the guy's getting the coffee and he got full house or whatever, and all of a sudden, whoom, shoots the blade right through his body, and he's just dead. So he's dead. So anyway, what's your
But your
dog's name?
point,
And he says something. What about Fluffy? And the parents dead or whatever. Oh yeah, it's so good, so good.
to your point though earlier, Andrew, the reason that I think he was such a good villain is we saw him against Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, and everybody wants
we
Arnold
had
to be a good guy.
Yep. So this was perfect.
Like
I really
Arnold
enjoyed
isn't a bad guy in his movie career. He's not a bad guy in a whole lot of movies. Like even in Conan, he wasn't necessarily a bad guy. Terminator, of course, he's a bad guy. But
Yeah.
they always found a way to make Arnold Schwarzenegger like the hero. But you know, in some ways in his movies, Eraser, highly underrated. I like that movie a lot. But anyway,
Yeah.
he's
Number
on
six.
the heavy. He's heavy in Tulsa King. I saw that too. Yeah, that's on the Paramount. See, this guy's been in everything, and I couldn't even tell you what his name is. I think his first name's Robert, isn't it? Maybe.
Sure.
Let's screw him up with
So I was
somebody
gonna
else.
say you're gonna ask us.
No, we're gonna say like Robert Redford or some shit because that's how we are.
Yeah, that's exactly how he looks. Anyway, who's
Oh.
number 6, Terry? Before we get to the top 5,
Number 6, Khan Noonan
Khan.
Singh. I think that's
Hell
how you
yeah.
say it. I just know Khan.
It's
I knew his
Khan.
name was Robert. It's Robert Patrick. Thank you, Dave.
Okay,
Old people
thank you.
know stuff along with Google. Who is this?
The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek
Oh.
2.
No,
that right?
Absolutely not. No,
Oh, okay.
not for me.
You're also too young for this because this was way before your time.
Yeah, not for me. Look, the other
Yeah,
old person answered. The AARP committee has verified that Robert Patrick is indeed the name of the T-1000.
Okay, so I can be corrected here. I think Dave Miller may know some details here. We've talked about it before, but Star Trek movies had a pattern for a while.
Mhm.
They would spend a lot of money on toys, and the movie would be complete shit. And then they would have a movie and say, "We're not doing that again," and the movie would kill. And then they would spend a lot of money on toys again, and the movie would be shit again. And then they would have another movie, and they're like, "We're not doing that again," and the movie would kill. So the even numbers, I believe, are really good,
Yes.
and the odd numbers sucked.
Correct.
But they made toys for the odd numbers. So
But you're absolutely spot on. This
So
was
what were
to me.
what were
This
the
was a
toys-
good Star Trek movie.
What were the toy sales numbers? Were they good or did they
Oh,
suck
they
too?
were good. Not for this one.
not like
No.
Star Wars.
Not for the
Yeah.
first. Yeah. No.
Yeah, Star
I
Trek,
agree.
Star Wars, not in the same
Now,
category.
if you want to
not in
see
the
a good,
same-
I'm big on some of these shows on like the History Channel. The Toys That Made Us.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They've got this. They've got Star Wars toys. They've got a wrestling toys episode. They've got Barbie, Care Bears. I mean, Teenage Mutant
Excellent.
Ninja Turtles. What a fabulous series! If you want to
Yes,
go
I
watch something
agree.
good.
Yeah. Excellent.
But
Space
yeah.
Seed sounds dirtier than it should.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's hit the top 5 and find out who is in the Ole Miss position.
Number 5, Megatron.
Yes.
Oh,
I love me some Transformers. Come on. How do you not absolutely love
not a-
Transformers?
Not a Transformers guy. Shia LaBeouf didn't do it for me.
Mark Wahlberg did it for me. So
Yeah,
Marky Mark
I'm not a big
Wahlberg.
Transformers guy either.
There it is.
oh,
I got
Marky
a
Mark
friend that's got a
Wahlberg.
Transformers tattoo, like right here. But
I
Terry,
grew up in the heyday of Transformers. So these movies, and they were good. Like these were good, like very action-packed, sci-fi-ish movies. So I thought these were great. Great.
Terry, did you know Marky Mark Wahlberg was the Calvin Klein model? He the Calvin Klein model. He didn't stuff his boxer shorts either. That's for the
And yeah,
record.
and I agree. Shia LaBeouf may not have done it for you, but Megan Fox should have.
Oh yeah, Megan Fox made me transform. Way to go, Dave.
Not you.
Obviously, his wife is not home. Anyway, so Megatron makes number 5. Who's number 4?
number 4, Voldemort.
Great villain. Great villain. The books were fantastic, and they
That's
did a
what I
good
was gonna
job.
say.
They did a great job bringing this to the screen with this gentleman as Voldemort.
Ray Fiennes.
Yeah, I love
I think it's Ray Fiennes.
love the last 2 movies specifically where he is Voldemort, like
Wow.
genuinely. You know, he's not on the back of some guy's head. He's
No,
not in the.
yeah.
He's genuinely Voldemort, and you know the reason he works so well is Carrie is so pure in the story. So yes, very good pick.
Excellent.
Did you ever read the
Totally
books,
agree.
Terry?
No,
No,
I
didn't know if
just
it was your thing or not, but
I read things, but not I read stuff. But
I
didn't
just
read things.
rebought. Yeah, I just rebought the series because I'm gonna restart my library. So my practice husband stole my original set, so I'm gonna
Ugh.
I just bought it
I
again
had
on
an ex-girlfriend
eBay.
that stole pretty much every CD I owned at one point, and I
Hell no.
said it's worth it to not have to see her.
Excellent.
yeah. But
All
now
right, number 3.
this is so good.
Yeah.
Number 3, Thanos.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so much of a villain that he actually ended one of the Avengers movies like on a downer. And to me, that's fantastic because you never expect that to happen. So this was he was in my top 5. Excellent. Josh Brolin?
Yes, Josh
Yep.
Brolin. That one I know. Because he's at the end of Ragnarok, you see him fighting Loki and Thor.
Correct.
And then he starts off the Infinity Wars with that similar scene. Dave is of the opinion that he's not a villain. And I mean, I don't know. He's got a point if you snap your fingers and you want to change things, but at what cost? So that's the moral question. Is he a villain or not? But obviously in the Avengers world, he is.
Yeah.
I thought the movies were fine. I mean, I'm not a Marvel guy, really. So
Yeah, me neither.
I love
So
this.
we've talked about doing Marvel lists in the past, and it was like Allison's definitely going to have to figure this
Yeah,
out.
I'll
'cause I've
carry
got no
y'all.
clue.
yeah, she's gonna have to carry this one because it ain't for me.
Every year I do the Marvel movie marathon where I watch them all in chronological order, which is so much more fun.
Yeah.
Here's
Well,
one for you. I've
yeah, 'cause
never
you gotta-
watched beginning to end of a James Bond movie.
What is wrong with you? Oh my gosh.
Exactly. I've seen bits and pieces as I'm flipping through the channels and TBS shows up, but yeah, I've not.
Wow.
It's
I'm
interesting.
gonna stick with it too. Number
Did you ever read the
2,
books? Books were great.
Oh, my
Emperor
man got
Palpatine is number
Oh,
he
well,
got shafted. What?
so
bet
I
you
know
did.
who's number 1 now.
Yeah,
It's gotta
exactly.
be Vader.
It's
It's gotta
mine,
be
but yeah.
Vader.
Yeah, but
But
this is I mean,
Palpatine's the puppet master behind Vader. He is the senator. Then he's the Senate. Then he's the emperor. I mean, yeah. Palpatine is the straw that stirs the drink inside the Star Wars universe. Be that the original movies, be that the prequels, be that the sequels, be that Rogue One, be that the cartoons.
If the
everything-
movies had actually gone in chronological order, you may not see these in this order, I would say.
I would
Because
agree
we
with that.
met Darth Vader first,
Correct.
and I'll go ahead and flip it over because it is Darth Vader.
Yeah,
The fact that we met Darth Vader first,
I agree.
that decided this.
Yeah, and for me, I am sticking with the purity of the story, which means Palpatine, who turns Vader
Right.
by telling him he killed his wife, makes him part of the dark side, taps into the evil, kills Master Windu, has him kill the Sand People along with all of the Jedi children. Yeah, Vader was a bad man, but all of it was done at the behest of Palpatine. All of it.
We
was
might
done.
need to do a heroes series at some point.
Yeah, I
to
like
oppose the
that.
Villains, yeah.
Absolutely. Palpatine was management.
Was
Dave said.
management. Yeah, Vader got the job done.
I mean, look, Darth Vader, when we were growing up, Darth Vader was the shit, and you know he was. Like, he was the bad guy that everybody wanted to be on Halloween with the
Yeah.
plastic mask and everything. I have one of those. Anyway, yeah.
I will say this, Darth Vader, because, you know, obviously Michael Myers has one, but Darth Vader probably has the most memorable music of any villain we've discussed in this
Oh.
series.
Absolutely.
And I get that Michael Myers Halloween has its theme,
Yeah.
but Darth Vader and the Imperial Death March,
Yeah.
I mean, they're still playing that in concert band everywhere across the country. So,
Sports arenas. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get what Dave and Darren are talking about, but for me, it's Palpatine, particularly if you follow the story.
Right.
Y'all want to talk about being Trekkie nerds and Star Wars or Star Trek and Marvel. If you follow the Star Wars story from beginning to end, the Clone Wars through the end of it all, it's Palpatine. It's not Darth. Because Darth is dead, but Palpatine lived forever. So there's that too.
Well, until
Yeah.
Kylo and
Yeah.
what's his name?
Yeah. The end of the era was not Darth Vader.
Let me run through
Excellent.
it. Number 10, Dr. Doom. Number 9, Chucky. Number 8, Lex Luthor. Number 7, T-1000. Number 6, Khan. Number 5, Megatron. Number 4, Voldemort. Couldn't do it too loud. Number 3, Thanos. Number 2, Emperor Palpatine. And number 1, Darth Vader.
This was an excellent list again. I love it. Very good.
Willie Thornbrew. I definitely did not say Darth Vader as an entrance. Now, they got one thing right with the Rogue One prequel to get you right before Return of the Jedi, and that was showing what a badass Darth Vader was. You didn't really see what a badass he was up until that point, because even when he fights Obi-Wan Kenobi in Return of the Jedi, remember, he's old.
Right.
Even when they freeze Han Solo, he uses an assassin to do so. So Vader isn't showing what a badass he is, but only in Rogue One in the last 10 minutes of that movie. Because up until then, remember, he's Anakin Skywalker all the way to the end of the third
movie. Yep.
So did we do, because, this is show 125. We've done a lot of lists. The first section of those were just football, but we've done a whole bunch, probably 100, maybe not quite, because we did 2 shows for a while.
Yeah.
I would say we've done more than 50, probably 60 or 70 lists at this point. Have we done any? I wouldn't say villains, because I don't know we called it that. I know we've done horror films. Did we do rankings of horror villains or Jason,
I don't know that we,
Freddy? I think we did the films themselves.
I think we did the
movies
for Halloween.
The characters, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Because I mean, it's it, and then everybody else. Come on.
Pennywise.
Right. So good list. So we'll discuss it in a minute, but thanks everybody that voted. We are on Wednesday this week, so we're not looking forward to talking wrestling. That happened last night, so it's going to be next week until you get that again. They're running into a little bit of the same stuff we run into from time to time, where scheduling tends to be something they need to figure out. So they haven't had as many guests lately, but it's still a great show to tune into. Dave and Amy, we love both of those guys. See, I call you fellas. I'll say they're guys.
Yeah.
It
works.
But those that don't tune into them, you should. So I guess that's the pitch this week, because it's going to be another week before they come on. I imagine they'll be on Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So tune in to Talking Wrestling.
Yes, always good.
Please do.
And for us, it will be 11 days from now, I believe, if I have the right number of fingers. I don't have 11 fingers, so I'm not really sure. But it will be the Sunday after Thanksgiving. We'll be back on Sunday night as usual. We will not do one this weekend. We will not do one next Wednesday as we are now. We are going to wait 11 days and do one the Sunday after, which is like the 30th or something.
Yeah, but what that does for us is we get through Full Gear, we get through Survivor Series, and we get through Rivalry Week in football. So there will be a lot of fun.
It'll be a big show, yeah.
And then we'll have Championship Saturday to preview the 5 or 6 championship games we always talk about. Terry, the playoffs will pretty much be set, I would think, for the most part. And, of course, whatever list that we decide to rank. Ham greater than turkey on Thanksgiving, by the way. Oh, my God.
and soccer season will be over at that point, so that'll be one less thing for me to do.
Let's fall soccer will be over at that
Well, the
point.
first half of the season will be over.
Yeah.
We'll start back in February, but it never ends. It will never end.
No, because he's going to want Dad to take him to the park so he can kick balls.
That's right.
And
Well, he doesn't have
yeah.
to do that. He kicks it around the house. He's doing it right now here in Minder.
No, I got you. I got
But
you.
what? So we got some more options for villain lists, right? What else have we not done? What can we do
think
next?
there's one more, but I don't remember. what it is.
Franchise villains, which this could
Correct.
piggyback. Because y'all have made me wait this long to discuss the dignified Hannibal Lecter and the way that his villain presentation is so much different than everybody else's.
Was there? This is the only one we have left. Is that?
I think so. I think there's only one
Okay.
left.
Pretty sure it's
Yeah,
franchise
I think
villain,
it's franchise. Yeah.
Okay.
which again could be Thanos in all fairness, could be Vader in all fairness, could be Palpatine in all fairness.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
they
we're
are
inconsistent, is what we're saying, but that's okay because you enjoy.
Well,
it.
they fit more franchises because if you're gonna talk about the cornerstone of sci-fi, space, and whatever, and you think it's Star Trek, you're wrong. It's Star Wars. You can't talk about the franchise that is really launching movie series, and then Disney takes it over and goes pro with it. So
I'll
there's
tell
that
you
too.
one list that would be fun, but I'm afraid I know you guys would not know as much as I know, and what others know would be soap opera villains. But
Yeah.
I know not everybody's going to know that.
Stefano.
Yeah. I am.
Victor?
Yeah, no,
That's
no.
it. That's all I know.
I have no power here whatsoever, except absolutely not. We are not doing.
Top listener chat room villains. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stan
Yeah.
from the Golden Girls. I mean,
Stan from the Golden Girls is one I know. But that's not a soap opera.
yeah.
Patch.
All right.
Patch is not a villain.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I
Patch
don't
is
know
a
what
good
y'all
guy.
are talking about.
Yeah. See, this is where y'all lose me and I lose interest. And we could put baseball villains. Aaron Boone is number one. The
Oh my
Bullet.
God.
Well, maybe Cashman, then Boone. It's like the Emperor Palpatine Vader argument. Which one is it? Anyway.
All right. Well,
I-
thanks. It sounds like we're doing franchise villains, and then again, we're going to have to come up with what to do next.
Cell phone.
Maybe we go into heat.
Cell phone game.
Cell phone apps, games. Maybe
Yeah.
games would
Games.
be better.
We
just
gotta-
say
yeah.
games. Yeah. Cell phone games. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That'll be a kind of a lighthearted one with we'll learn something about how people spend their time.
Excellent.
Good. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Those that are in the chat, a decent sized group tonight on a Wednesday.
Thanks to our
Thanks
new
for that.
viewers.
Thanks for our new viewers. We will be back to Sunday, as I said, next time. Any parting shots from you guys before I wrap it up?
No. Much appreciated. We'll see you in 11 days. Back on Sunday, 8:00 here on Markout Moments.
I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
And we
Happy
are thankful for all of our listeners. Thank you all very much. And we love you all. Well, most of you. But yeah.
Eat so much that you come this close to considering going to the emergency room. And with that, as always, love your people. Tell them you love them. Make it weird. See you next time, everybody.